WDEB News presents the regular monthly meeting of the Fentress County Commission. The Fentress County Commission meets the third Monday of each month, and you can see it live on Channel 12 cable TV. It's a presentation of the Union Bank of Jamestown and Clark Range, your reliable banking partner since 1904.
For more than a century, Union Bank has been serving the people of Fentress County. Now, as we begin a new chapter in our history of service, we want to take this opportunity to reassure you that while our building may be new, we're still the same friendly people you have known for years. Union Bank, the same people, the same goals, and the same commitment to you. Union Bank, your locally owned hometown bank for more than a century, growing to meet your needs. Equal Housing Lender Member FDIC.
We'll call this meeting to order. Please rise for the presentation of the colors of our color guard. Remain standing for the pledge to the flag of the district, Mr. Benny Hughes, and remain standing for opening prayer of Brother Lee Brown. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Father God, Lord, we love you. Father, we thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us here. Most of all, God, we thank you for these county commissioners that come here tonight, Lord, to discuss business. And Lord, we just pray a special blessing upon them and their families. The county executive, Lord, as they guide this county through these difficult times that we have. Lord, we just pray for each person that's represented here in this meeting tonight. God, we pray special blessings upon them and their families. Lord, we just want to take a minute to ask you to wrap your arms around the ones, families that we've lost here this week, Lord. We just pray peace and comfort among them as they go through this holiday season without them. Lord, we just ask that special prayer that you just love them like only you can, Lord. And we just ask, Father, that your presence be here among us tonight, Lord. This meeting be holy and pleasing to you. We ask this in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen. Charlie isn't with us tonight, so I'll ask Miss Amanda to call the roll, please.
Cindy McDonald. Here. Justin.
Here.
Rod Williams.
Here.
Kim Davidson. Here. Denny Hughes.
Here.
Robert Cooper.
Here.
Lester Gooding.
Here.
Leon Stepp.
Here.
Larry Cooper.
Here.
Julie Matthews. Here. All present.
All present. We'll move on down to item 7. Consideration and approval of notaries. We have one, Hannah Huffman.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Lester Gooding, second by Commissioner Leon Stepp. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Contrary likewise. Motion passes. Ms. Marlin's not here with the minutes. Oh, she's not here. Item number 8, approval of a resolution to adopt a redistricting plan for Fentress County. Joy, are you in here, Joey Williams?
Yes.
Would you like to address that just for a moment, what we had to do there, if you don't care?
Okay. The, District 1, each county commission has to have a plus or minus 5% representation in the county commission, and Ms. Leslie and I, Jacob Church and Rod Foy served on the committee. District 1, we added over there on the Billstown Road, I think one census slot there, and then a couple of census slots from the Ledbetter shortcut, Frank Campbell Road down to highway or the Allard Highway, Taylor Place Road. District 2, we gave back to on Castle Road, and that goes back into the 2nd district, and then around the Acres Chapel will be in the 2nd. 3rd district, we moved everything on the Wilder Road. South will be in the 4th district, everything north will be in the 3rd district. And I think that got everything within a plus or minus 5%.
Thank you, Joy. I'll read to adopt the redistricting plan for Fentress County Resolution 2021-32. Whereas Tennessee Code annotated section 51-111 requires that at least every 10 years, county legislative bodies shall meet and change the boundaries of county legislative districts or redistrict the county entirely if necessary to apportion the county legislative body so that the members represent substantially equal populations. And whereas, consistent with the provisions of Tennessee Code annotated section 5-1-111, Fentress County has prepared a redistricting plan which provides for a county legislative body composed of 10 members and which creates 5 districts as depicted on the official redistricting map of Fentress County prepared pursuant to Tennessee Code annotated section 5-1-110. Now therefore be it resolved by the Fentress County Legislative Body meeting in regular session at Fentress County, Tennessee on the 16th day of November 2021 that Section 1, there is hereby adopted a redistricting plan for Fentress County which provides for 2 commissioners in each of the 5 districts for a total county legislative body of 10 members. The districts for members of the county legislative body are depicted on the official redistricting map for Fentress County prepared pursuant to Tennessee Code annotated section 5-1-110. A copy of the official redistricting map is attached as Exhibit A to this resolution and is incorporated herein by reference. Section 2, all members of the county legislative body shall be elected at large within the district wherein the candidate seeks election. The 2 candidates receiving the greatest number of votes in each district shall be elected. Section 3, this plan shall take effect upon passage. The public welfare requiring it, provided that vacancies shall be filled in accordance with Tennessee Code annotated section 5-1-104. Adopted this 16th day of November 2021. Approved by myself, Jimmy Johnson, Fentress County Executive, Marilyn Stevens, County Clerk.
Chairman, I move to approve it. I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Larry Cooper to approve, second by Commissioner Lester Goody. Please call the roll.
Mickey? Four. Justin?
Four.
Rod?
Four.
Kim? Four. Benny? Four. Robert?
4.
Lester?
4.
Leon? Four. Larry?
4.
Julie?
4.
10 for, none against.
All 4, none absent, and there is a big map. If anyone wants to see it tonight, it's in the ECD room and on the table. Joy will have this up at the election office if anyone wants to go up there and look at it later. Item number 9, Consideration of approval of appointments to the following committees. Leon Stepp to the Ambulance Committee to replace the seat of Barry Cooper. Justin Miller to the Tourism Committee to replace the seat of Lester Gooding. Carol Watson, Gail Reed, and Alice Kirby, reappointment to the commission for the four within no term expiration. We had in our, we're supposed to do this either bi-yearly, we can do it each year bi-yearly, and we hadn't done it, so. But we had, some commissioners were in 5, some were on 7 committees, so now everyone will be on 6 committees. We have a list of those committees there. All I need is just,
I'll make it.
motion by Commissioner Robert Cooper, second by Commissioner Lester Gooding. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Contrary likewise. At this time, before we go on, I would like to take this day up. As we know, we lost our assistant, I believe he was assistant police chief, I'm not sure, but Mr. Jeff Hancock. And if we could please just stand and take a moment of silence if you don't hear for this. Thank you. Item number 10. Is acknowledgement of the relinquishment of the South Fentress Park Outdoor Sports and Fentress County government. I've got stuff right here in Fentress Park. South Fentress Outdoor Sports Incorporated relinquishes Fentress County government contract. The reason they did this, they have to have it done by the end of the year, because that there is their legal year, it ends in December. The Board of Directors of South Fentress Outdoor Sports Incorporated has made the decision to relinquish the management agreement between South Fentress Outdoor Sports Incorporated and Fentress County government as of December 31, 2021. We will continue to operate the park until April 30, 2022. This will enable Fentress County government ample time to select a new board. This will also allow the board time to complete the ongoing improvements in the playground. South Fentress Outdoor Sports Incorporated was organized in 1998. The purpose was to construct the South Fentress Community Park. The organization is composed of all volunteers from the community. The mission of this organization is to provide a safe environment for all citizens. Volunteers can no longer administer the work and oversight that is required to keep the park a safe place for all ages. South Fentress Community Park has been constructed and maintained with monies from fundraisers, grants, contributions, and enormous in-kind work from various individuals and organizations. The Board of Directors wish to thank everyone that has assisted our organization in the construction and management of South Fentress Community Park. So we'll be appointing, after the first year, we'll get us a board together, because we now have 2 parks. We have the Kirby Johnson Park over here, and we also have the South Fentress Park now to take care of. Some of them have been on there for 40 years. It's off and on to, and have a park that needs to be kept up, as I believe you all will agree to that. But we'll be appointing a board, and I think some of the members out there would like to stay on the new board. But we'll have, that's what we'll have to do around after the first of the year. If they have some things, and they still have some funds, and they want to do some things out there to improve it for what they can. And with that being said, do I hear a motion to accept that?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Leon Stepp to accept.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Robert Cooper. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Contrary likewise. Consideration, item number 11. Consideration of approval of allowing the county executive to register and execute the participation agreement for the National Opioid Litigation Settlement. Be sure to address that just a moment, Ms. Levin.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy. Essentially, you all voted, actually several years ago now, to participate in the national opioid litigation. There's been a settlement at a national level, and that will trickle down to the state level and then to the local level now. We knew there's not a whole lot of money coming in the beginning, but there will be some funds. There's divided out, I believe, over 18 years, which is essentially how long that the federal government level has decided that the opioid crisis has been in effect. So this will not be something that gets paid out in one lump sum. But Jimmy just needs to register us so that we can accept our funds and determine how to use. There's certain ways you can use them. I think there'll be a resolution next month that goes along with this. It just came in like a couple hours ago. But we do need to get this done because we don't have until January 2nd to actually register to get our money.
So what motion? Motion by Commissioner Lester Gooden to approve. Do I hear a second? Second by Commissioner Mickey McDonald. Roll call vote, please.
Mickey? Justin?
Four.
Rod? Kim? Benny? Robert?
Four.
Lester?
Four.
Leon? Larry?
4.
Julie?
4,
10-4, none against.
10-4, none against, motion passes. Our next one, item number 12, is consideration of approval of surplus equipment from Fentress County Fire Department, Emergency Management, Rescue Squad, and Sheriff's Department requesting to sell as scrap material. This is things that's been set mostly over at the old building, and
Well, I think last month that we passed it as surplus equipment to auction off. This equipment it's not worth auctioning off. It's pretty much scrap metal, but we can't settle this scrap metal because
I think we surplused it actually last year. It should be clear, we can pass it again, to surplus it and make it clear to scrap. James is here, he came and seen me today. That trailer is FEMA. It was a donated trailer, correct me if I'm wrong, James, that we can do as we see fit with it as far as surplus, scrap, whatever. It just needs to be documented as well, correct? So that FEMA trailer that's over there as well can be, I think it's falling in off itself.
is that on the list?
I believe it's in on the bottom of that.
It is.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
a motion by Commissioner Benny Hughes to approve. Do I hear a second?
second,
Second by Commissioner Judy Matthews. Roll call vote, please.
Mickey? 4, Justin?
Four.
Ron?
4.
Kim? Benny?
4.
Robert?
Four.
Lester?
Four.
Leon? Larry?
Pass.
Julie? 4, 9-4, pass.
9-4, 1 passing, motion passes. Item number 13, consideration of approval of loan request from Fentress County Highway Supervisor Joey Reagan.
Loan for hot mix. I was gonna ask for 15 million. Got a list of the roads there.
We do. The one that we got presented to us last week says 10 million.
Yeah, well, I thought a couple more here added to it, Hall Road and the Martha Washington Road,
Mhm.
that's another, 896, 521. And that's another, 7.20.
So the other was 800 and some thousand, 896, about Joy. So that went from about 10.8 to 11.8. You're asking for 15,
Yeah.
15.
There'll be some more of these roads to be able to be extended a little further,
Mhm.
that amount.
Uh, Where are we at on the last, the 800,000? How much of that have you taken care of so so far, or spent, or, you know, or?
Not right off the top of my head, we've got, probably up around 10 miles of it done, roughly.
So you probably used already $500,000 of that. It's 50,000 to the mile, so 10 would be 100,000, is that about right?
Yeah, somewhere along in there.
You had what, 40 miles of that to do?
Yep.
You've done 10 at 500? And you're just gonna do 40 for 800?
Yep.
And the payment on that was, what was that? You remember what that was, a year or whatever on that 800? You remember, Tyler, how much that was?
70-some-odd thousand.
For how many years?
Done 12.
That's on the 800, right?
So, what would be the plans on paying this and everything, Joe? There's nothing on here about the plans to pay it.
Well,
I know that the federal government did sign in for some road work possibly. Don't know how much that'll be though yet. I know they signed on that infrastructure for roads and bridges. Part of that will come, hopefully. Nobody
Yeah,
don't know
I'd say
how much it is.
it'll come down to the state anyway.
They'll come to the state and that is first. Nobody knows how much that'll be or what now. But what was the plan to pay that back?
Well, I suggest, let Tyler figure us up something, see what we come up with.
On your original loan request of $10,850,000, if you add your other $800,000 in there, you're looking at an annual loan payment of roughly $1.1 million
Per year.
per year. Your annual revenue at this point right now is $3.3 million.
Yeah.
That's a third of your revenue. I mean, the only possible way would be a property tax increase. To cover that payment, you're looking around 31 to 35 cents of property tax. That's almost a 20% property tax increase for the city.
If we don't pay it back.
If you don't pay back,
Yeah, that's what you're saying, ain't it?
no, how, you think you can cover a third of your revenue, you can't afford a third of your revenue to go towards the loan payment. You bring in $3.3 million a year, you can't afford a $1.1 million payment at $3.3 million a year. Because you gotta cover your payroll still, you gotta maintain your equipment, you gotta pay your utilities. I mean, that's figuring on roughly a 20-year payment. Because that's what you're gonna be able to go on roads, because your road will depreciate on 20 years. So, I mean, that's, or another source of revenue. I mean, I know that the news article that I read showed that you're paying for grant proceeds, but you can't use grant proceeds to pay debt. So, I mean, what you're looking at is the only thing this commission can control is pay debt legally. If you look at it, and the commission can issue as much debt as they want, but they have to be willing to issue as much property tax rate to cover that. So legally, what they can control and the risk that they take on liability is that they would be willing to raise the property tax to cover $1 million a year payment. I mean, you're talking about something that's double what our Justice Center lease, or Justice Center loan payment is, over double. So, I don't, and it's not that I don't think, it's that I know that you can't afford $1.1 million a year payment, not out of the highway fund. There's no way. It'd be broke in a year.
That was over 10 million or 15 million?
That was with this request. I mean, that's the only numbers that I looked at. If you combine the 800,000 with this as well, then you're looking at a 1.1 roughly $1 million payment.
And that's just for the 10, not for the 15, just last year.
Right, I didn't look at 15.
So if you're at 15, you're at about 50% increase.
final numbers that you put forward? Probably 35-40% increase, a little higher increase, yeah.
So you're looking at 1.3 or 4 maybe.
I would say.
Over how long?
20 years, I think that's probably as long as you could go on a road loan, just because of the depreciation of the road.
And what's the average life of a road?
That's what they claim, is 20-year life on the road.
On the hot main.
Yeah. So that's as long as you can go with that loan, is 20 years.
And if, like I said before, if something was to happen, you know, someone else comes in that signature's not on that note, he could say, or they could say, or she could say, I'm not gonna take this note over, then it would fall back to the taxpayers at that time, as we all well know. All the paper, they would be responsible for it.
Joey, do you have an alternative to what Tyler just presented?
Not right now, though.
I mean, I know that the highway department's very limited on the amount of revenue that they can generate. They're very limited on the amount of resources they have for money that can come in. But $2 million is a huge chunk, but I mean, it's not like you're gonna spend that $2 million to generate more revenue in an enterprise fund or something that's gonna help to pay that back. I know our citizens deserve and want to see these roads taken care of. But, you know, at the rate, if you're looking at almost a 20% tax increase, because that's roughly what it would take.
Tyler, how much has been budgeted for roads? Like last year? In his budget?
Well, I have to Joey may know that quicker than I will.
Not right off the top of my head, though.
Joey. Do you think we should raise taxes?
Nope.
My question is, some of the most phone calls I get from constituents is, I've only got one phone call about a road, per se, and that would be Copeland. And I actually drove down it, you know, I've not driven down it. I drove down some of these, and some of these wasn't too awful bad. Some of the concerns I get is, there's not enough road signs, direction signs, or, you know, like tell somebody how to get to their house. There's not enough dead end signs to show you that the road's ending. We had an incident down the road from me, where somebody ended up 20 feet off the road in somebody's yard because there's no dead end sign. So those are some issues that I get phone calls for. Another question that I do have though, if you had started on this, say, 6 months after you were elected, would the money, would it have been more probable to have gotten a big chunk of these done? Because we knew, I mean, have you been aware of how bad the roads for a while? Like, how long?
About 20 cents a year.
So, I'm just saying maybe 6 months into your first term, if we had started working on some of this then, we could have probably been pretty close right now, correct?
Yeah, with upgrading their machinery.
See, I don't know what, I'm just these are questions I get from people. I'm choose the messenger, if I can't ask the hard questions, I don't need to sit here. But I have to ask.
We had to have some dump trucks that was safe to be on the road.
How much have you spent, Joey, to upgrade like tractors and mowers? I know 3 years I've been up here. No, at least one.
Well, that USDA grant that we got last year. We got 2 tractors out bid. Was, the grant was just nearly 300,000. Our part was 120 something. 4 pieces of machine.
Answer your question on some of the budget questions. There's roughly $1.1 million budgeted for, road construction and asphalt. That's not counting gravel because, I mean, I know gravel's going on gravel roads and that's what the goal of this is to get away from. There's about $350,000 budgeted for just crushed stuff. Yeah. Out of a total budget of $4.9 million, there's 1.135 million budgeted for highway construction and asphalt. Last year, the revenue brought into the highway fund was $3.33 million. Total revenue was $3,333,000. So, I mean, as of right now, our budget's set at $1.6 million over budget, over what we brought in last year in revenue. You know.
So there's absolutely no way to do this without any proper taxes.
I don't see a way to afford to pay. I mean,
Well, our last, the last loan that we done, the finance director said then that it was marginal, where they could afford to pay it on $800,000.
well, if you look at what I said, what I'm looking at is they brought in $3.3 million last year and their budget this year is $4.9 million. That makes it tough to justify adding debt that you can make that payment. They won't spend that much because some of that's the bridge projects that may not get completed or state aid projects may not get completed or something like that. But if you're just looking from a budget perspective, then you look, your $1.6 million upside down to what your actuals were last year to what you are this year. They weren't that far out last year. I think they didn't spend that much, but I think the long shot to be able to afford that payment, unless Joey has other ideas of how to make that payment. They spent $3.248 last year, and like I said, brought in $3.3. So they had, just shy of $100,000 in surplus last year.
And you're looking at over $1 million payment if,
Well, we just added one payment right now. If we combine that,
so you're looking at basically
if
nothing.
you're adding another $1 million to that payment, just a little over $1 million.
If you got your budget book, too, you can look what we done last year. At the end of last year, you had $750,000 in fund balance. This year, that's going down to $481,000. Okay. This fund balance projected to be at the end of this year, $481,686.
We budgeted to hit fund balance for roughly $300,000.
$268,000.
So we just spent about, what, 150?
No.
So it'll be 481 is what it's projected.
Have enough money in fund balance to make this payment for when you. Your fund balance isn't half of this payment. I don't think, I'm not meaning this towards Joey personally, nothing whatsoever. I mean, this is just financial talking. I worked in a bank one time, I said, and more people know there too, but I don't think the comptroller's office will approve this debt. If your annual payment is more than double what your fund balance is, I don't think the comptroller's office would approve the debt. They have to. I don't think that they would. I might be wrong, but what they would approve it on is the taxing power of the county and the health of the debt service fund, not the health of the highway. That's what this debt would be based upon. Because you can't base this debt upon the health of the highway fund and asking for that type of money.
So I think what this boils down to, more so than a $15 million loan, is you asking us if we're willing to raise property tax. Because it's not, the simple math of it is, we can't, your budget's not gonna cover the payment. We figured that out. That is black and white, simple math, we won't cover it. So the question you're presenting to us would be, do we want to raise property tax to fund this?
No,
Because I can't think of another way.
We don't have a fund here that can support that payment. I mean, our general fund couldn't support
We
it,
can't
our
do
debt
it.
service fund couldn't support it. Not as where we sit right now.
I'm not gonna go for raise property tax either, you are.
I guess we'll just struggle along like we've been doing.
But we don't know what's gonna come down in the infrastructure fund.
Yeah, I ain't got no hope for that.
It's be up to the president where he puts the money in the state.
Like I said, I ain't got no hope for that.
They shut it in half the last time.
Well, I thank you for his time.
You're very much welcome, Joe, I appreciate it. Okay, let's move, if you don't care, let's move 15 and, on the back page. In any other business, we have some folks here want to talk about some road stuff. Let's get this one first. In any other business, ID board appointments of Jay Smith as an additional member to the ID board and Stephen Jones to fill the position of Walter Davis, that which retired. Both terms end in July of 2026. What's the motion on that?
Motion to
Motion to approve by Justin Miller, second by Lester Gooding. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Contrary likewise. We have with us tonight, request from Michael Baker to address the county commission concerning Laurel Creek Drive in Wilder, Tennessee, and also Mr. Bob Colley from Spruce Creek on roads, and maybe one more to address Cold Road, possibly. Mr. Michael Baker, will you come up, please?
Good evening, members of the board.
Just give us your name and your address.
My name is Michael Baker.
Okay,
On my email, I had quoted my wrong mailing address. I had an address at number, it's 225 Fanny Cook Road, not 255.
Road.
Yep,
Okay,
Top of the hill. I've retired and I've lived there for 3 years, going on 4. And all I'm doing, I had no idea that any of this road subjects were up for conversation tonight when I thought I'd better come up here and ask
okay.
if we can get Laurel Creek Drive on the honeydew list for at least the tire and chip going up the hill. Joey and his crew has been out there numerous times with the road grader and a little bit of gravel material. But it won't hold it on hill. And all I'm doing is trying to address the county and see if in the future, this year, next year, somebody's notepad, we can get Laurel Creek Drive on that honeydew list for repairs whenever the money was available for the committee. That's all I'm trying to do tonight, so just present my case that Laurel Creek Hill is a rough booger, although short of a 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive truck. You can't pull a trailer up it. It'll just tear you up. It's the worst board. I myself am okay with it. My wife and some of the other ladies up there on the hill were intimidated and they gotta come around Vine Ridge to go the other direction. That's all I'm trying to do this evening, so identify that. And I heard Joey's issues, the committee's issues on the road funding. I have empathy with all of you, and I respectfully say thank you for not raising property taxes. Did cover that. I'm just getting acclimated with Tennessee property taxes myself personally out there, and that's all I'm trying to do this evening.
Thank you very much, sir.
I appreciate everybody sitting here tonight listening to me for whatever it took.
All right, thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Colley?
Greetings.
You too.
I have some pictures for y'all to look at. And like the gentleman that just spoke,
Your address is?
I'm sorry, I'm Bob Colley. My address is 1025 Spruce Creek Drive.
Okay,
I live 25 minutes north of here.
okay.
Like the gentleman that spoke to me, or just spoke before me, number one, I want to thank y'all for everything that you're doing. I appreciate it. It's nice and refreshing. By the way, thank you for your service, sir. It's nice and refreshing to hear somebody say, we have financial problems doing this. Instead of, I've been in places before where they just rubber stamp it, yes, we're going to do it, and we'll suffer the consequences later on. Thank you very much. I would also like to thank Joey. Joey, thank you very much. I moved here, I retired federal service for 33 years. Retired, moved here because my wife likes riding horses. So we moved into Spruce Creek. My wife drives probably the most impractical car to live in Spruce Creek. It's Mercedes-Benz. Okay, 230. It has low-profile tires. The pictures that you see here are one of the roads that goes over to our property. The tires on those cars are, I'll say, rather expensive. The last time I put tires on her car, it ran me about $850 for 4 tires. Okay, on a road like this, the car sits at home. We don't drive it. I drive my truck. It's going in the shop tomorrow to get all 4 ball joints replaced because of the roads. It's going to cost me $1,700 to get all that done. Joey, I called Joey last December and I said, hey, is there any way that we can have some of these potholes fixed? He said, yes, not a problem. Boom, he was out there within 2 weeks with his crew. They filled in the potholes. Thank you very much. 2 months later, I called him again. Hey, the potholes are back again. The problem is, and I do not have pictures of it, but if you Google my address, you will see that my house doesn't exist. None of my neighbors' houses exist, but the road is there. And if you look at the picture on Google, you'll see a brand new road that has potholes going across it. And why? Because it was built over, water runs underneath the road, therefore eroding it out.
Excuse me just 1 second. You live there, but your house doesn't exist?
Oh, on the map.
Okay.
Oh, I live there.
Okay.
The house has been
You
completed.
got it on me there.
Yeah, the house has been completed for about 1.5 years. But if you Google my address and you look at the satellite photo, there are no houses out there. So there was no construction, no dump trucks, no carpenters, no handymen, no nothing going on in that area. But you can look at the road, you can zoom in on that Google map and see that there is problems with the road because it was paved over water going under it. and that's still there. So Joey's been out 3 times this spring to fill in potholes on that road. The potholes are back. That road used to be, it is county road, it goes county for another 100 yards past me. That used to be an asphalt road. The only part of asphalt now is right down the middle. So everything else is gravel. I had pictures, but I didn't get them printed. I had videos of cars going up and down because now they've opened, I believe, 2 campsites down that road from me. And every time that it's not raining, there's a cloud of dust. My wife's Mars red Mercedes is white, color of the wall there, because of the dust that comes by. Anything that goes up and down that road. Now, Joey has done a wonderful job on trying to keep it passable, but as you can see in the pictures, there are no markings on the road. So, sir, your shirt is the color when we drive there at night. And when you have 2 cars passing, you have no idea where the edge of the road is. So basically, everybody stops and crawls past each other. So at least I would like to throw out my request, not only to have the roads repaired sometime in the future, but also to have some markings on the road, at least side road markings. So we know, okay, we're about to go off a 2-foot drop, passing a horse trailer that's coming out there, or a dump truck, or just another car, because we can't see. There is no center line, there are no edge markings. So if we could possibly get that thrown on the list also, I would greatly appreciate it. Again, thank you. Thank you for the time. Thank you, Joey. You have a tough job. Wouldn't want your job in the world.
Question,
Tom, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you have water running under the road and that's continuing to make potholes, why not put a culvert in and maybe correct that problem?
That's not at my driveway. We have about,
Or at the, wherever the water's running
oh
under the
yeah,
road?
that would be great, but it's going across from my side of the road to the other side of the road underneath there. Yes, it would be great. Do you want me to do it?
No, I was just wondering, if water's running under the road and causing a problem, then why not a culvert?
Yeah, that would work too. It runs down through my pasture, my horse pasture, and into the neighbor's woods. That would be the logical thing to do, but right now we'll take whatever we can get.
Mr. Colley, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Carter. Your name and your address, sir.
Boyd Carter, 485 Cove Road. I've been after Joey to fix the road ever since, you know that. And he drove across it, he knows what it is. He just waited at it as he goes by. Well, one concern is wasting money on taking the road back and paying land. Which guys drove up to that, can't see lines on the side of the road. Why did he have to go, why did he paint flat? That's the line. The guys that painted the lines said they didn't know if the road would hold the truck up. Paint flat. So that's how the thing is. Road is. And you drove on it, and
Oh, absolutely.
you have, you know, just got all the pictures.
My car sits up when it's driving on that
When you called me to bring a shovel to come up there and work on it, I drove out there and I actually went to the highway department and asked if somebody would come look at it, because it's atrocious.
I mean, it's, hey. I don't know, I just have to get something done. I drove to a license in 2 years. This song got lasted 20 years. 2 years was a lot of money.
Was there a specific reason Cove Road wasn't put on this list?
We're gonna have to dig the portion.
Do what now?
We're gonna have to dig the biggest portion of it up, where it's under the, been strip mined,
gonna have to put a base back there.
The section's not very far at all, it's on pieces, is, how long is that section?
That's Martin Patrick. I had one.
Anything else? Thank you so very much, anytime.
Not raising property tax.
Jump back to consideration of number 14, consideration of approval of the following budget amendments. First one is the Board of Education in the amount of $29,570, which is an ELC grant. Hear a motion on that? So moved, Mr. Chairman. Motion by Commissioner Benny Hughes, second by Commissioner Mickey McDonald. Any more discussion? Roll call vote, please, Ms. Marilyn.
Vicky, Ford, Jensen,
Or,
Ron, Kim,
Four.
Benny,
Four.
Robert,
Four.
Lester,
Four.
Leon, four, Larry, Julie, four, and four against.
The second one is Board of Education in the amount of $60,000 special ed program. Do I hear a motion for that one?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Lester Gooding. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Leon Steph. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mickey, four, Jensen,
or,
Ron, Kim,
Four.
Benny,
Four.
Robert,
Four.
Lester,
Four.
Leon,
Four.
Larry,
Four.
Julie, four, and four against.
10 for, none against. That item passes. The third one is ARP funding for general fund stipend in the amount of $97,500.
was this the, one where we was,
That budget amendment for 97,500 that's in your packet, will change to the one that was laying on your station when you first sat down.
what was gonna be the total amount for each person? On that?
750 for full-time, 375 for part-time.
Is there, I know we have done past this, in the budget. Is there a way we can relook at that? Maybe, do a little bit better for our county employees?
They got on payroll this time? Payroll, not on that, yeah.
Because, there's been things that's brought by insurance that I would like to, for us maybe re-meet, or maybe relook at this if we possibly could as best we did.
I think there's not a time factor in there, Tyler?
Well, our goal is to have it out for next week's payroll.
So there is a time.
So if you push it back, then it'll be.
Hey, look, yeah,
Our next meeting's scheduled for December 20th. And there's the payroll that week, that's just another short payroll, that's the week of Christmas.
we can revisit this at any time in the future, because there's enough funds still available for that.
You just have to set up another time frame. This would run from July 1 to November 7.
So what you're looking at is, the reason this one's kind of been a little wishy-washy, this is that ARP funding, so it's got a whole lot of federal reporting attached to this, so, yeah, we can look at it, it should be a double report on funding throughout it, I mean.
Can we do it before that December 20th, my question, so it could go out about this?
So, get it out before the holidays, before we're out through all that holidays. There's payroll on the 9th. I mean, that's just in a couple of weeks. I don't know that we can meet. I mean, we don't have a commission meeting scheduled. You'd have to call a special call for that. I mean,
I've got a question, sir.
Yep.
Is the highway department workers gonna be able to participate in this too?
So, well, I've discussed with some of the commissioners, and it's not been voted on or discussed in any meeting about highway with that. And what they're talking about is highway typically always every year gives a bonus, a Christmas bonus. Board of Education does as well. Board of Education's got federal funds to give some other bonuses. But I've discussed with some commissioners, like I said, it's not been voted, but about reimbursing the highway for their bonus the same time of year, up to the amount that they allot for, the other employees. So that's gonna be up to them, how they decide. I mean, but I did, I know I talked to Larry and Julie and some of them that was at the radio committee meeting the other night after we discussed this about, need to consider the highway department because they're not receiving federal funds to pay anything towards their bonuses for their people either. So maybe reimbursing the bonus that you guys typically give to reimburse highway departments for funds for that.
The question I had for Tyler that night was that, I know you give something now anyway.
Yeah.
But to be fair to the county employees, we didn't need that you give them that, plus if we matched it, you gave them that too. That's not fair to all the other county employees. So all we could do is possibly maybe match up to what we give, but you can't, we don't want you to, I don't want your giving, but let's say you give $1,000 and we do this $750. We don't want them to get another $750 and then get $1,750 and a county employee gets $750. That's not fair to them.
But we need to make absolutely sure that the highway department gets their share.
Right, that's what I'm saying, is that
Those
we
guys
don't,
deserve it just as much as
right,
anybody.
but you see what I'm saying, is that we don't want, if you give $1,000 and we're giving our county employees $750, then we give you $750 for your employees, you give it to them again, they got $1,750, where ours got $750. So if you give $1,000, we'll reimburse you up to $750, so it only costs you $250, you see what I'm saying? I don't know what you're giving, but you see where Tyler's trying to explain it, we'll reimburse you up, or if the commission votes to do it, up to whatever we give the county employees reimbursement to you.
So it's, 15,375.
Is what you're doing,
Yes, the $750.
that's what your amount would need to be?
That would be per person.
Oh, he
What about you plan on giving, Joy? And what they're saying, if you give $10, they'll reimburse you $5 of it. If everybody else got $5, they would reimburse you that $5.
Joey's saying with his employee count,
His total would be.
he gives $750 to full-time, $375, part-time, to be $15,375. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the full-time, $750.
Yeah.
What bonus does your employees get?
Huh?
What kind of bonus do your employees get?
I spoke with Barb on it today, and it's based off of longevity. Starts at $100 or $50.
50, I think.
And they get like $50 for each year of service that they've been there. The max person makes, I think Barbara said was her, and one other person was $850 or $900 was the max that they would get. So, and whenever I talked to Barbara, said she may want to talk to Joey about presenting to the commission about just doing the same bonus or premium pay structure of what the county's doing. Just do the same thing to his employees, that way his employees get, ultimately that way his employees get a little bit more for what they've done throughout COVID as well.
So his employees should get $750 for his full-time.
That should be the minimum.
Yes,
If they started, if they only got 1 year of service in, they would still receive $750
$750.
stipend from the county.
Joey
From Joy.
The ones that you was giving $100, they'd actually get $650 more. But the ones that was getting, if they got $1,000, it would cost y'all $250, because they'd been, like Larry was saying, they would give you the $750 that the counties get.
But Joy, what we're saying, that $750 is gonna come out of our budget, not yours.
It's gonna come out of your COVID money, ain't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
It's not, the ARP money, it's not included.
so am I clear then, if they say for one of these guys that's just been there for a year, the minimum they're still gonna get $750?
Yeah.
They still have to meet the time requirement, right?
Yeah, there's
July 1 to November 7th is what we said. And they still have to have that time frame.
and they would have to work, I think what the figure was, 29 hours within that time frame.
Yes.
And And they still, they have to be a current employee. correct?
Right.
I know that that's odd hours, but it's because of the regulation on that it can't exceed $13 an hour, and you have to set a time frame for it. It's in the huge document of the American Rescue Plan funds, for premium pay.
Really, somebody.
Yeah, but, so between those time frames, current employee, between July 1, November 7th, that they have to work at least 29 hours.
And that comes through the federal government, that's the number the commission come up with. But this was talked about before today or tonight, this had already been talked about. At the radio meeting for the night.
And I talked to Ms. Marbury about highway. I don't know if she got a chance to talk to you or not. Last time I talked to her today, she hadn't got a chance to sit down and talk to you about it, but, I had talked to her earlier today about that.
And you've had other counties that's done more, but let's say Putnam County. Putnam County got $15 million over a 2-year basis. That's 5 more times than what we got. Overland County got $700 more thousand dollars than what Fentress County got. Morgan County got, I think, $500 more thousand than Fentress County got. Crossville, they just got all kinds of money over there in Putnam County. Then we have some adjoining counties that's not doing anything, also, adjoining county too, on it. So, but the commission is trying to do something for everyone they can. I mean, and that's what people need to know in their mind, they're trying to do something.
So you'll keep us in the loop.
Always, we always do.
I want to make a motion that we do $750 reimbursement for the highway department, and that will free up that much money, you won't have to use out of your budget and to
I'll
cut
second
that.
that.
And that's,
But it's minimum,
he was
750.
talking about something else on the top.
That's on the other, that's on the other. This is just the highway department, right? That's $375 for part-time,
$375 for part-time and $750 for full-time. It meets those requirements set forth by the federal government.
you get a second, I'll second. Did you second it?
Yes.
Motion by Kim with the highway, second by Nick McDonald. Roll call on that part, and we'll get any more discussion.
Question.
Roll call. Ms. Merle?
Mickey? Four. Justin?
Board.
Rod? Four. Kim?
4.
Kenny?
4.
Robert?
4.
Lester?
4.
Leon?
4.
Larry?
4.
Julie?
4.
Julie, 4 again.
10 for, none against, all right, go ahead, let that take care of y'all, department highway.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I'll go back to the general fund, let's have a discussion before we start on that.
I was gonna say something, if you wanna make changes, tonight, we're not gonna make changes, but you need to be aware that the numbers will change dramatically from this budget amendment. We can approve the changes tonight, and then pass the budget amendment.
I think I've got it to where I can access my computer or remotely be able to see what that number would be, just by changing two numbers. I don't know what can be prepared enough when we start talking about this stuff. I can bring 10 options and it's picking it.
We want number 11.
So Commissioner Miller, what's your suggestion?
It was talked about the other night, $1,500. I was gonna say,
For full-time
for full-time.
and part-time work.
What was, I forget the part-time, but.
Part-time, I said.
For general, 50%.
That's what it was talked about, and, you know, I slept on it, and there was some other things that came up that was brought to my attention that just pushed me toward that, and it just made me feel a little better.
You had an option between the 750, but their options was start the government 500, then it to 1,000, then 1,500, still on 750. Your other option that night was 1,000, then 1,500, it was 1,000, it was 1,000.
So on, I see what the total is on, that would be, so it shows the intent fund balance, but it'll actually copied it, didn't change it up. So your budget number shows 101,39,000, which is fund balance. It'll actually be hitting the money that's coming from ARP fund. So everybody's aware. What are we hitting at 1,500, 750? And it includes what we added the other night, which is some health department employees and things like that. Totals 210, 150 for the general.
That'll be replaced by ARP.
By ARP. That is at what number? That's at 1,500 for full-time, 750 for part-time.
And your $1,000 was what?
$146,900.
The first one was 2 what, and this is 146.
$146,900.
And that's for 750 and.
No, 210 is at 15 and 750, and 146,900 is 1,500.
And let me just throw this in there too. Education spend as ARP also was for the PPE equipment, fire department.
Roughly 1.1 million, that's right.
Yeah, we'll receive 1.78 million again in July. There's 1.1 balance in that. Very limited, very limited on what.
We can do more on there's money.
What it actually started out calling for was water, sewer, broadband, and whatever they call it.
Premium.
Yeah. And then when you get digging down in there, a little bit further, you found out the building that we got, it fell in that category. And the PPE equipment will fall in that category. And then also you're looking at helping on the radio system, if we can find a loophole in that for the county for the money that we get overall. So yes, if they do, it's not a positive thing that we will be getting 1.7 next year, but we're supposed to. Just like we were supposed to got $600 and some thousand from the state, and they didn't have. So who knows what politics is going to do on the federal front. But right now we do have the one left, and you need to take that into consideration also. It's not saying we don't want to do this, y'all don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. That's just what else was planned to use this money for. As far as the fire department, we can't get nobody into the academy because the equipment is all outdated on that. Maybe another resource for that, I'm not sure. But
We've been doing a whole lot of research.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to work out, use ARP for airbags,
Yeah.
fire department. We're still digging, I'm supposed to meet with somebody tomorrow, I'm going to a conference tomorrow in Murfreesboro, I'm going to meet with somebody while I'm down there to discuss it a little more in depth, but I think that it's qualified. I mean, ARP says that you can use it for PPE, so, I feel like that qualifies as PPE.
it started out, they was gonna have the finalization in September, and went from September to October the 18th, then went to October the 31st, and they told us it was gonna be in November, and now they're saying hopefully by the first of the year, the last of December sometime. You watch the news, you know how crazy things is right now. You know, it might be, no telling when, but kind of based on this on faith. But where you at? What's the motion?
Make a motion.
No, I haven't made a motion, I'm just trying to I'm on a fact finding spree right now,
During work session?
I don't think we need to get in bidding
Sorry.
with other departments that are giving more money than we are.
You can't because they get more money.
We have 2 to 3 times more employees than most of these organizations do. So we don't, if we hear on the street that somebody else is giving more money, you know, we shouldn't get in a bidding war with other agencies. That's just ridiculous. We need to try to be fair with the money, with all our employees. So that's just where I stand. I just don't think we should get in a bidding war with any other agency. And if we start looking at doing this again, if we give a maximum amount now, that's just gonna jeopardize us if we try to do something in June. for next year. So you gotta consider, we're here voting on this tonight, but I guarantee you, we're gonna get another request come the end of the year, hey, can we do something for us at the end of the year? They did last, we got the request last year. So if you do a bigger amount now, it's gonna jeopardize the amount that you may or may not do later on in the year. And I applaud all our employees that came to work, and Kim said the other night, that sometimes the only elected officials came to work. So, you know, we need to make sure that we mention that, but, a lot of people came to work.
But is there something else we need to vote on? Is there a motion? It was over here, you was talking about Commissioner Miller.
I got a point to Commissioner Cooper's comment there. Is it not at our discretion to divvy the amount?
Yeah.
I mean, so if we do $750 now and say later in the year or next year, if we just want to do 2, is it not our discretion to do so? Or do 1,000?
I think you heard, money's still up.
I mean, there's nothing said that we can't revisit this again.
That's correct.
It is Christmas. So let's remember that.
Well, you also look at it, you got, conscience starts weighing on you, think about everybody that's worked here, this horrible time that we were part of all of this last year. I mean, there's a lot of people that's working on the front lines that came to work every day. They didn't have to stop them.
I didn't,
I know, a lot of us did. But,
did you get bonus in?
but,
I understand.
you get where I'm coming.
I do.
I don't think you can ever go wrong taking care of your employees. We've got people leaving right and left, and you can take care of them. I don't know what that amount that translates to, but I think it's more than 750. But I don't think it's.
Well, I'll just throw it out there.
A huge amount more, maybe, but
I'll throw it out
The
there
other
and
two
see.
options was 1,000, 15,000, 1,500.
throw it out there.
Give them more money later.
We can give them more money later, but we need to give more incentive. Not a penny. It's Christmas time. Gas is expensive.
We're open for any motion.
Turkeys are scarce.
I'll throw this out there, I'd like to make a motion to give full-time employees 1,500, part-time 750.
Motion been made by Commissioner Justin Miller. Is there a second to his motion?
I would second that motion with an addition that we give the department heads the money to let them distribute it to the people that they think deserve it.
You made an amendment to the motion.
That's what I would do.
Okay, so we need to vote on the amendment first. So, Commissioner Gooding has made a motion to distribute the money to the heads of the departments. That's something similar, I guess, to what you already do, Joy, or something that maybe. So you'll be giving to the department heads to distribute to where they think that you have some, I guess, some may do more than some other, I don't know. But anyway, that there's the amendment to your motion.
Say it again, I'm confused.
Commissioner Gooding has made an amendment to the $1,500 straight across the board. He has amended that motion, made the motion to, let the department head distribute the money to how he deems that it should go.
What he's saying is if they've got 10 employees, then that department head's gonna get $15,000 to disperse between his 10 employees. If you've got one that's showing up every day and one showing up every other day, you may give $1,600 to one and $1,400 to another.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to have a legal opinion on this, since it's already been voted and passed per employee.
I think you all are gonna have to pass a second one. Maybe not amend the one you did.
Which one's
they don't pass anything.
At the budget committee, that you have to back in.
No.
You're moving to amend the budget. Is that what we're doing?
But you need a second to.
No, we're moving to amend. Yeah, yes, we're amending that right there.
But his amendment is to the budget.
Hey, you gotta have a second to Lester.
And our amendment.
That has to be. So that's what do is our second to Lester's amendment on his, then we'll have to go back and amend the budget amendment. So is there a second to his amendment? Let the department head do it, or does that fail? If there's not a second, it will fail, and we'll go back to Mr. Miller's motion of $1,500, and if that passes, we'll go back and amend the amendment that was presented tonight. He is saying, give it into, let the department head, yes, your sheriff, your senior center, your librarian, your solid waste, your ambulance, you do it like that right there.
I second it.
Is that second for Lester?
That's second to Lester's amendment. Let the department head distribute the money. Any more discussion? Roll call vote on this amendment. On the amendment only, Lester's amendment, let the department he's amended.
Against. Justin.
Against the amendment.
Rod.
Yes.
Kim.
Pass.
Benny.
Against?
Robert.
Forward.
Lester.
Four.
Leon.
Four.
Larry.
4.
Julie. 4. 5, 4, 4 against.
Kim passed.
Impasse. Okay, so. So, we're at your motion of $1,500. Do you want to second that, Mr. Gooden, as you did before your amendment?
I do not.
He does not. Do I hear a second on the $1,500 / $750 that Mr. Miller?
That's across the board, to be clear on that, that's not a full motion.
Thank you for my.
That was my intention, was across the board.
Thank you for my.
1,500, 750 across the board. That's my whole intention on this.
So is there a
That's
second?
my-
I think you need to clarify when you say across the board, and across the board under the federal guidelines.
Well, yeah, under the federal guidelines.
That we already
Go
are
on.
already.
The ones that we've already approved, already approved. Federal guidelines, my motion, 1,500, 750.
I'll say.
Second by Commissioner Julie Matthews. Any more discussion on this? Roll call vote.
Mickey. Pass.
What? You're passing?
Justin.
Or,
Rod.
Against?
Kim.
Pass.
Benny.
Against, only because we can revisit this.
Robert.
Forward.
Lester.
Four.
Leon.
4.
Larry.
Against?
Julie. 4. 5, 4, 3 against, and 2 pass.
Motion failed. Is there any other deliberation on the $1,000? Or we're going down the road?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we do 1,000 / 500.
Second.
Per federal guidelines.
Motion by Commissioner Benny Hughes, second by Commissioner Larry Cooper.
Does that include the highway department?
Yes.
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's right. Whatever
Yes.
is voted on, yeah, it goes there, yes.
Per, as long as they meet the schedule guidelines.
Yes. Any more discussion?
What would, they have left after taxes, just ballpark $50?
What they make?
Well, yeah, around $1,000. Forget it.
Question being called for. Roll call vote.
Mickey? Justin? Ron?
Yes.
Kim?
Pass.
Benny?
4.
Robert?
4.
Lester?
4.
Leon?
4.
Larry?
4.
Julie? 4. 8, 4, 1 pass, 1 against.
And the reason that Kim, the reason Kim has passed, because she does have, conflict of interest in one of that one service.
Yeah, I mean, I try to
She's
confront
for it.
everything head on, y'all know that of me, but I miss because I think Mason works with the ambulance service side there would be very poor taste for me to vote on that, so that's why I try to.
That would make,
It would be a violation of the law, and I try not to say a whole lot of that.
that would make budget amendment 146.
All that, I would like to go back to item number 6.
That would make the budget amendment 146, 900. We've got these 3 different funds we need to make amendments for,
Okay.
to pay these out. That's why we've got them listed in our agenda.
Been around the world here twice.
That's 1125 right there. 1125.
I think probably the next fund you have is 128, right?
Yeah. $128 would be $1,500.
Is that the nutrition?
Yes.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion to approve the nutrition fund by Kim Davidson, second by Mickey McDonald. Is there any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Mickey? Justin?
4.
Ron?
4.
Kim?
4.
Benny?
4.
Robert? Lester?
4.
Leon?
4.
Larry?
4.
Julie? 4. And 4 none against.
10 for, none against. The next one is for solid waste,
27,500.
27,500. Motion by Commissioner Benny Hughes to approve, second. Second by Commissioner Robert Cooper. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Mickey? Justin?
4.
Ron?
4.
Kim?
4.
Benny?
4.
Robert?
4.
Lester?
4.
Leon?
4.
Larry?
4.
Julie? 4. And 4 none against.
10 for, none against. Your last one is senior center donation in the amount of $1,954.05.
Motion to approve. And I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Mitch McDonald, second by Commissioner Kim Davis. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mickey? 4. Justin?
4.
Ron? 4. Kim?
4.
Benny?
4.
Robert?
4.
Lester?
4.
Leon?
4.
Larry?
4.
Julie? 4. And 4 none against.
10 for, none against. We'd like to say also that we did have a phone conversation this week, today, with UT Med about the ER. They're looking at going ahead and building on this end of the building, so they won't have to do it later on, and that way there won't be any more, when they get in, when they get started, it'll be finished. And then also about the parking lot, that we'll be getting a gift of a lot next to, well, up above where it's gonna be, we'll be getting as a gift a lot there, and also a lot, there's a purple house up there, we're getting that gifted to it also by the folks that we bought the building from. Or I'm getting hoarse, but that's where we're at on the ER. that we'll be doing some signage in the next little bit. We talked about that today, but it's going to happen sooner than later, so we're particular with that. We appreciate everyone coming out tonight. Is there any more business from anyone?
I just want to say one thing on
Mr. Lee?
I'm chairman of the planning commission here in Fentress County, and
Yes.
I've been chairman of that board now probably 14 years or longer. And back in the previous administration, before Joey came in, Spruce Creek Road down on 297 was brought to the planning commission to be turned back over to, or to be turned over to the county, be deeded to the county. Myself, Tommy Lee, and a couple more of the planners got in the vehicle and went down with Road Supervisor Norris at that time. And we went door to door and talked to those people and told them, if you want the county to take this road over, I think Raines Development was one to put the road in at Spruce Creek, and they was the one that was taking care of the development down there, taking care of the gravel and everything being put on the road. We went down and talked to the people and told them plain, you know, look, the county cannot afford to run down here every 2 or 3 months, put gravel on that road and grade it. Now, it's your decision whether you want to turn it over to the county or not. The Rangers are doing a fine job taking care of this. And they chose to come to the planning commission that day and voted on for Mr. Norris to take that road over, and we turn it over to you guys. But I'm just telling you, that ain't gonna be the only road that's gonna be coming, because there's more people coming into them areas now. Like this guy said, he's been there a year and a half. This has been, and what, 6 years ago, wrong, the district was brought up. So just get ready, because there's gonna be a lot more roads that's coming up where these subdivisions been put in, and then the roads have been turned over to Joey. You know, we know Joey ain't got the money. Joey does a good job with the money that he's got, and I know that. Not saying that Joey does what he can do with what he's got. But there's fixing to be a lot more to come in front of the commission, because I'm getting calls. Actually, I had a call a couple months ago, and I went out to the road myself. He got the guy out, and then he'll walk down the road, and I told him, I said, look, I said, you can ask for this to be turned over to the county, to be a county road. I said, but you realize what you're gonna do then. You can't expect Joey to run out here every time you get a little old trench across this road and fix it. I said, because the county ain't got that kind of money.
So we need to be more careful about what.
Absolutely, and he chose to go ahead and take care of the road himself and not turn it over to the county. And so there's gonna be a lot more of these come up.
Lee,
It will come down the path, it will come to Joey, of course, as Joey's done a good job of
Right,
doing the
and
one.
Joey did what he did.
It'll come to, Ms. Betfair, then it'll come to y'all to make a decision if you want to accept it or not.
Lee, I have a question. On these roads in these subdivisions, before we take them in as a county road, they have to meet certain requirements,
Absolutely.
right? Like, he was mentioning that road that needs a culvert, like, why was it should have been built. Like, I'm thinking, did the subdivision perhaps not build it correctly?
And when we went down there and looked, Mr. Raines presented the depth of the gravel and all that stuff that's put in there, and the road was wide enough, it was made wide enough to be turned over to a county road. It met the county road spec.
Okay.
That's not, and just like we told you, this is a new development. At that time, Spruce Creek was a new development down there, and they, like you said, they hadn't been a lot of trucks running in and out of there. Now we got 2 campsites down there. You're gonna have traffic in and out there every day. When you start putting a lot of traffic in those roads, you put a lot of wire on them. That's when these holes come in, and that's when your water starts running across the road. And it costs a lot of money to go down there and put a culvert in, and put gravel in, and re-gravel that whole road all over again. But that's what the Rangers were doing. They were taking care of it. And we went to Spruce Creek and talked to them, and they actually came to the meeting. They was, I think 10 or 12 people that meeting, I thought, maybe more. And we told them, said, this is what's gonna happen over a period of time. And I said, I said, the county cannot afford to do this. I said, do you still want the county to take these roads over? And they said, yeah.
So when it comes to road work, you wear what you ask for.
That's it. And I'm just telling you guys, get ready, because you guys do a good job. You do a good job on that, you didn't want to raise property taxes. But, it's gonna come to a point in time, you're gonna have a lot more people coming and talk about roads, which we just done one with Joey, went down and, Joey watched the Miller Road, right down off Kingstown Road with the chicken. That road was blacktop. it's blacktop and start to finish. Where Spruce Creek's not. When you run into the gravel part of it, that's when you're gonna get into trouble. And you're gonna have, I was sitting there trying to think up how many roads that's come up over the last 3 years of these new subdivisions been put in. I know four right off the top of my head, that within the next year, I'll be standing right here wanting you guys to.
Well, that's like David said out there where I'm at. That's the same exact thing, it's about 12 years old. And I'm moving in, and there's other people moving in, and now it's surfacing the question.
A lot of traffic going in and out of it, and that's what it will be.
School buses and post office, everybody up down the hill.
What we need to do is, I guess, look at how the roads are built for the subdivision that's put in. You know, I don't know what steps we gotta take to do this, maybe Jimmy can find out, get with Joey, but I think
There's a,
Maybe upgrade our codes to make them a little more stringent, that way if we do get them, they're, we're in a little better shape. So maybe that'd be something to think about, and you don't know how much I appreciate you coming and saying this, Lee, because that's something we need to know.
see, we went down and drove the road. I mean, the road was perfect. I mean, it was smooth as it could be. But we told them over a period of time, when you get a lot of traffic coming in, and just like went out there and teach them, it is blacktop from start to finish. But when you go to get big trucks going in and out there hauling gravel or hauling stuff back to the freeze houses to be built, you got concrete trucks coming in, what's that road gonna be like in 2 years? And then they're gonna be coming and hollering and going, hey, you need to come out here and re-blacktop my road, it's messed up. Now, we've done told those, well, we told those people out there, we told that subcontractor that came today. And he built it right to the specs, because me and Joey went out there and we looked at all of it, and it is put in like it's supposed to be.
these are road acceptance and a road closing bid for Joy that he has to go by. He's done a pretty good job.
Yeah, he's done a real good job. But what I'm telling you, just get geared up, because there's gonna be 4 or 5 more roads. But I know, when people start coming in, it's gonna be coming to you guys, and I guess we just want to be a little more lenient about when we go out and look. I guess put our foot down, if we have to hurt Joey's feelings or whoever's the landowner, and say, no, we're not even gonna present this to them.
Right.
Mr. Lee, thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Yeah.
Go ahead, I want to say something after
Okay. We need to bring up those air packs that I went through the process with to the commission. We started out at the fire committee, went to the grant committee a couple of weeks ago or whatever. So, what we need tonight is permission to go ahead and solicit a price, at those 2 meetings, we agreed to get a price for 24. The city's gonna buy 6, which is 30. So we need permission from the commission tonight to ask for that price to be paid out of, we're just gonna say grant money to make sure we do get it out of ARP.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
And we will be picking up, the city will reimburse.
We're gonna do it through an organization that they don't belong to, the
Purchasing cooperative.
Yeah.
MVP.
So that's why we're asking for the total amount through the county, so they can then, we'll just reimburse, they'll reimburse it.
Do I hear a motion? No.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. McDonald, second by Commissioner Justin Miller. Any more discussion?
Did you ever get a hard number on that?
We can't, till we get,
Until later.
yeah, and then we'll bring that back to the commission.
Just motions to get approved.
That's all we're asking.
Ray, do we have an interlocal agreement with the city on that, so we're certain that they'll pop up their money one time?
I'll get that, I spoke with Gail when I came up tonight, they actually voted in the city council meeting.
Let's need those minutes.
Any more discussion? Roll call vote.
Nikki, Paul, Justin,
Ford.
Ron, Ford, Kim,
Oh,
Benny,
Four.
Roller,
Four.
Lester,
4.
Kim,
4.
Larry,
Pass.
Julie. Oh. 9 for 1 pass.
If there's nothing else, I certainly appreciate everyone coming up.
I just wanted to say something. Joey, I know it's not easy to get up here and ask for that in front of this commission, and don't think for a second we take your request lightly. So I know it's hard to come up there and ask for that. And so, and we know you have a difficult job to keep, there's a lot of roads in this county, and like Lee said, we just keep adding to. So I don't want you to think for a second we take you for granted in what you're doing.
Anything else? Or we want to meet, our next meeting scheduled the week of Christmas, do we want to change that? Let's change that tonight if we're going to change it. We can, I said even maybe up to the 6th, but I think Tyler said that he thought the Board of Education maybe want to use this that night, is that correct?
They talked to Jimmy some, made a comment about it, but I'm not sure what their plans are. That is their regular meeting night, so
Okay.
Board of Ed, they,
6, they said something about the 6th.
Well, can we make the 13th?
We do it the 7th.
I can do the 7th, I can do the 7th. Tuesday the 7th.
Tuesday.
Next one can't be here, Tuesday the 7th.
Also, just for a moment to think about it, there's a holiday in January, so your meeting in January is gonna be moved out a Monday in January further out. So I don't know if we have that planned forward. Sure.
So the 13th, that's good, everyone?
13th's fine.
Okay, do that. There a motion on that? Commissioner Hughes made it, Commissioner McDonald seconded it. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Aye, and, happy Thanksgiving, yeah.
Move to adjourn.
I move to adjourn, everybody else. Thank
I'll
y'all.
second
For more than a century, Union Bank has been serving the people of Fentress County. Now, as we begin a new chapter in our history of service, we want to take this opportunity to reassure you that while our building may be new, we're still the same friendly people you have known for years. Union Bank, the same people, the same goals, and the same commitment to you. Union Bank, your locally owned hometown bank for more than a century, growing to meet your needs. Equal Housing Lender Member FDIC.